It is so great seeing my next guest finally make his UFC debut. He's going to be taking on Jessie Strader, UFC Fight Night, February 19th. It is Chad Anheliger back here on the program. Chad, how are you, sir?
I'm having a great day, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I bet you're having a good day because your fight is right around the corner here. How happy are you just to finally make this debut? It's been a long time coming, you actually stepping into the octagon.
Yeah, it hasn't really kicked in yet. It's not really going to kick in until I'm down in Vegas, I think. It just kind of feels like training for another fight, something I've done for a long time now. But I'm real excited. It's kind of a different feeling going into this fight. I feel happy. I feel like I just want to perform. I don't feel like this chip on my shoulder where I want to be somewhere else and this is just a stepping stone. I don't feel that. I feel like this is it, and I just want to go out there and put on the best fight I can.
When did you find out? It seemed like you got a full camp for this one because we talked right after you won the contract, and then obviously here we are a few months later.
Yeah, no, I've known for a long time, probably like 3 full months. So I've been putting in a full training camp, 12 full hard weeks, and we're down to the nitty gritty now. So I just got to get through one more week and get down to Vegas.
Before we talk about this fight, how cool is it seeing your teammate Hakeem Dawodu pick up a big win last weekend? Went out there and he looked great. I'm sure that was a bit inspiring ahead of your debut.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's a Hakeem fight right there. That's just him, performing at his actual potential. He's just levels above guys that are already world class. So it's pretty cool to see how well he can perform in there. It just kind of gives us a boost in our gym. We know we're doing the right things here.
Is he going to be making the trip with you for your fight, or is it just your coaches?
No, I think he's going to be still down there for another week and stay for the Izzy fight.
Oh, cool.
But he's undecided if he's going to be sticking around until mine or not. He's not going to be there for the corner, so he might just still be around in Vegas, or he might not be. He's still kind of playing it by ear.
Cool. Let's talk about Jessie Strader here. 5-2 record. Was he someone you knew about before taking this fight, or did you kind of have to look him up?
Yeah, no, I actually didn't know who it was. I was really excited to see the potential matchup because I looked him up a little bit. And he's an exciting fighter, so that's really all that I care about right now. I'm not in a position to be calling out certain people or things like that in the UFC. I'm just making my debut. But what does excite me is somebody who really wants to go out there and put on a show and fight hard, and that's what Jesse does. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait to put on a good show for the fans.
And, it's very rare this happens in someone's UFC debut, but you have more fights than he does. How much do you feel like that experience? And this is something we talked about throughout your career of, you had a rough start to the career and you've turned it around and now here you are in the UFC. How much are you relying on that in the debut, just that experience?
Yeah, that's huge for me. It's one of the reasons why I'm going to be able to capitalize on these opportunities I'm getting in the UFC. I'm not going to be overwhelmed or overwhelmed by the moment. And I'm not, I know I'm ready because I've been ready for so long. And, I don't have to stress near as much or wonder if I belong. All these things that go through a lot of fighters' head, especially when they're making their debut. I know I belong, and I've already beat guys that prove that. So, I'm going to be relying on my experience, and that's actually playing right into our game plan of tire him out, take him out. So, he's going to start to get desperate, and then I'm going to finish him.
We talked about Hakeem. Who else have you been working with as far as training partners leading into this fight?
I mean, we got such a strong team at Champions Creed. I don't need to go anywhere else. I do everything I need to at Champions Creed. So we got such a strong jiu-jitsu team there. Like our competition jiu-jitsu guys are so good. If I want to go in there and get rolls, and we have our kickboxing team, same thing. If I want to go in there with those guys, they're ready to rock. And then our MMA team is, second to none. We're really going to be growing as the marquee place in Canada to train for MMA. We got a full group of guys, and our amateurs, our guys with just a couple pro fights. I mean, I'm telling you, they're killers already. So Champions Creed is really going to be establishing itself more and more on the MMA scene.
Any names you want to throw out there? Because again, I know there's not like household names that a typical, MMA fan would know, but are there any names that you get to work with that people should be keeping an eye out for? I know you don't want to single anyone out, or leave anyone out, I should say, but is there anyone that comes to mind when I say that?
Yeah, there's a handful of guys. We got Nick LeBlanc, Ramil, and Chris Bryan. They're all guys that are either just about to make their pro debut or just have. But those 3 guys are absolutely killers. They're going to be they're definitely going to be people to watch out for as they start stacking on some more fights and building their records. But yeah, they're giving us all the work that we need for sure.
Yeah, and the good news too for people who are wondering, I mean, Unified has been putting on a lot of shows lately. I know they've got another one coming up here soon. So, I mean, if you're looking to some of those names, I'm sure you could see them on those cards because it's right in your backyard, right? So,
yeah, exactly. Unified, from what I hear, they're putting on more and more shows. They're building a bit of momentum, and starting to have less gaps in between. And they put on great shows. I went to the last one to corner Ramil. He got a first round KO, and it was a great show. So it's really good to see some good product for the guys to get on. And yeah, like these guys have been staying in the gym like all through COVID, no ups and downs. They've just been grinding, waiting for their opportunities. So yeah, hopefully they get out there and start making some noise soon.
And by the way, you can watch that on Fight Pass. It's another bonus of Unified. Everyone can watch it, which is cool. The weight cut, I'm assuming that's going well because, again, you're not fighting at 125, so a little bit easier to make that 135-pound limit.
Yeah, I feel great. I've been nothing but kind of fine-tuning my process. And I made the decision I wanted to stay at 135. So over the last, 2 years or something, that's kind of been my decision. So I've been slowly adding on some muscle, and I just couldn't be happier. I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be. As I get to my the peak of fight camps, I'm eating as much as I can. I'm training as hard as I can. I'm hitting my PRs and lifts. My cardio's through the roof. I'm sleeping great. And a lot of other guys are going the other direction. They're really starting to deplete themselves. And I really think that the way I'm doing it is the right way. I'm going to have tons of energy, and I'm going to be ready to perform fight night.
So who will be in your corner for this fight?
I've got Coach Brian Bird, of course, our head coach at Champions Creed, and Chris Bryan, one of the guys I mentioned, one of the guys about to make his pro debut. He's going to be there for me. And then my brother, Kyle, he's going to be there just supporting as well.
Love it. And how do you envision the fight playing out on February 19th?
Well, I really think it's going to be an exciting fight for the fans. I think Jesse brings a dangerous, athletic aspect to it. He's strong and in shape, and a really athletic guy. So I really have to respect that. But I really think my skills, my footwork, my timing, my experience, it's all going to just slowly keep tilting that fight in my direction until he runs out of options. So I know I'm capable of putting him out on the feet. If he wants to start shooting and wrestling, I know I got what it takes down there to get a finish with a choke, ground and pound. Yeah, I'm really not putting too much pressure on a specific finish, but I am going to put pressure on him until he kind of picks his own way out.
First UFC fight, the debut, all that. What's sort of your outlook for this year? Is it get 3 fights in? Do you sort of have a game plan for the rest of this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to stay fairly active and get a couple fights in. Like, I'd like to fight 3 times this year is kind of my plan. So many guys get in there and they do well, and then time goes by, and without staying active and regular, people just forget about you. And now that I'm in the UFC, my biggest thing that I want to take away from it is I want to put on great fights, and people need to know my name and want to see me fight. So the only way to do that is to A, fight great, but to B, you have to actually be in there fighting. So, I mean, I got coach and managers there to make sure I'm not making foolish choices. But I mean, now that I'm in the UFC, it is my job all the time to be ready to fight. So it gives me the ability to say yes to some of these opportunities that are going to be coming up. And especially if I go out and get a really big win, hopefully the UFC wants to ride that and get another one going not far behind it. And I really see that I can have a really strong year and build quite a bit of momentum pretty quick.
Didn't think we'd get out of here without some hockey talk. How you feeling about the Flames? We just had the All-Star break over the weekend. They're looking good, man. Like top to bottom, they're looking pretty solid. How are you feeling optimistic about their chances this year?
More optimistic than I have in a long time. Yeah. I know they're looking sharp. And when Johnny's really on and playing well, the team just seems to follow. And he's having like a career year. So I feel like that's one of the bigger factors. I don't think they're going to have to do much or add anybody or change anything. I think they're going to kind of stay the course. But right now they're dangerous. They're definitely dangerous. So, yeah, I'm excited to get this fight done and then go back and watch some games.
I know they're on a bit of a winning streak now, but were you kind of enjoying the Oilers imploding a little bit just with, all the talent, and then the whole media thing? It's been interesting to watch as a Canucks fan, just to see, the Oilers just sort of implode with mainly because of their goaltending. It just hasn't been up to par.
Man, Oilers are just struggling in every way. They create these ways to struggle. I mean, their fans get frustrated, but then they do things that frustrate the players, and the players goes on to the media, and it's like this vicious cycle they're all in. And I feel bad for them because I actually like a lot of players on the team. Obviously, I don't cheer for the team; I cheer for Calgary. But I like a lot of their players, and it's like I feel like they're in a cycle right now. This of negativity and failure, and I don't know how they're going to get out of it. I really don't. And Yeah, I was enjoying it same way I enjoyed when Vancouver was in a similar situation earlier
Hey,
this
but it
year.
worked out for us. We got a new GM. I'm just so I can't since the
Yeah,
last time we talked. I just can't tell you how happy I am that Jim Benning's gone and that we have like an actual plan. You know, because it was never the Jim Benning plan was like a day-to-day plan. This is like an actual like, hey, we're not that good. We're not going to win a Stanley Cup. Let's actually like retool this thing, right? So
yeah, and you can just tell the feel is better there. But that's what Edmonton is lacking, I think. Like they need
yeah.
something to change. You can't just do these small things. All it does is feed into this negative cycle. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen over there, but I'm glad Calgary's kind of keeping their separation from both you guys actually, and staying on top.
Yeah, I didn't tell you. I was actually at that game when they played Pittsburgh and the jersey was thrown on the ice and then they were let go the next day. So I would like to think that I contributed to them making these changes. So it was really good. But Chad, thank you so much for doing this, man. I can't wait for your debut. It's like I said, it's pretty cool for me because, you know, we obviously know each other from, you know, Rise FC, and it's been cool to see you, you know, get this far and make it to the UFC. So tune in February 19th. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, thanks, man. Just a big shout out to my team, Champions Creed. You know, I know we got a big win with Akeem on the weekend, and I'm just looking forward to carrying the momentum and establishing Champions Creed as, you know, the MMA gym in Canada. I know we're on our way, so that's all for me.